I think the key thing is that when I'm doing these things, it's not like, hey, look at me, I'm a realtor, and by the way, we're going to have a Halloween parade. I am not putting a bunch of signs with my name. It more just happens naturally that neighbors are like, this parade was amazing. Who organized it? It's going to be someone else even that pulls me over and says, hey, this is Kim. Do you need a realtor? You have to meet her. Naturally, people are going to figure out who you are.
How did you build a business around relationships being the center of them?
So I think the biggest thing that sets me and my team as well apart is very early on, I realized that in real estate, my focus wasn't the sale or the house, it was the person. Whether that person was renting a house or buying a house, or if they never resulted in a transaction, I just cared about the relationship with the person and doing what was best for them, which means I've sat in sellers' houses and told them, I don't think you should sell your house. And it sounds crazy, but when it's not about that transaction and that dollar amount and that check, it becomes about the relationship with the person. And that just organically snowballs, because when the person knows that you actually care about them and their best interest, they're going to tell everyone they know, and they become your best source of marketing, even if they were never actually a client.
How did you get to the level of success that you have by keeping that kind of as the core of your business?
We do 85% of our business from referral. We don't pay for leads. We don't knock on doors. We don't go after expireds. It is all from our sphere and, them telling their friends and family about us. In addition to, those relationships with our sphere, we're also very involved in relationships in the community. So, my goal is to always, people call me the mayor, of like my local town, because I'm involved in everything. If someone says, will you sponsor my son's soccer team? I got it. I will sponsor that soccer team. I will donate to the church event. I will coordinate this other event. And just really getting out there and getting to know people and just being involved in their lives just brings us a lot of business.
What does your day look like as far as building a business off of relationships? Are you talking to a certain number of people, or what's the approach?
So to be honest, I am not the epitome of being systematized in that sense. So I don't do, this is probably going to sound bad, but I don't do like the set lead gen time and that kind of stuff. So for me, it is more organic, but it's also purposeful that I'm trying to be out there, talking and connecting with people. And if I'm making calls to check in on people, it's not as much a sales call. It's just a, hey, we haven't talked in a while call. Tons of social media. So we're very active on social media and in private groups. That's been huge for us. So we're mostly everyone on the team is a mom of small children. We actually have our first guy on the team recently, but he also has small children. And one doesn't have children, but she has dogs. So
same thing.
Yeah. So we're all very involved in like Facebook groups. I created a neighborhood Facebook group when I realized my neighborhood didn't have one. And then that kind of snowballed to now we're going to have a neighborhood Halloween parade, and we do a neighborhood Easter egg hunt, and we do a neighborhood 4th of July barbecue. So all of those things, also become a source of people knowing, okay, you're the neighborhood realtor, and then you're, your local town or your local county's realtor. We get very involved in the moms groups just because we have, small children. So, and those clients, and those relationships are like fiercely loyal. So when you're in a moms group and someone posts looking for a realtor, my mom clients will tag me, like it just blows up. I get a million, Facebook notifications in a row, and I know someone's tagging me in a mom's group. So those relationships, also are super important. And I think that's our approach with the client is we really do become friends with them, honestly, genuinely. And they're coming back to us, 2 years after they bought a house and saying, I need a pediatrician, or, what do you recommend for a Friday night, casual dinner with the family? And they're coming to us for those things because they really view us as like the, key person that knows everyone in the community.
So I think anybody listening to this, there are always different ways to do lead generation. And as long as you're intentional around it, so like for your neighborhood, I love the idea of, okay, you started a neighborhood Facebook group, and then from there it went to was it a Halloween parade?
Halloween parade, yep, which is this Sunday.
So fun. And then an Easter egg hunt. And so when you look at those types of things, what do you see that's done for your business as far as, being present in those groups on Facebook and creating some of these events around your neighborhood?
I think the key thing is that when I'm doing these things, it's not like, hey, look at me, I'm a realtor. And by the way, we're going to have a Halloween parade. I am not putting a bunch of signs with my name. It more just happens naturally that neighbors are like, this parade was amazing. Who organized it? And, it's going to be someone else even that pulls me over and says, hey, this is Kim. Do you need a realtor? You have to meet her. Because they just want to share that I'm the one that created the event or brought the neighborhood together. And I didn't do it from a marketing perspective. I did it as a community event, but naturally people are going to figure out who you are, so like 4th of July, we do flags and we put them all throughout the street, which looks amazing as you're driving in the neighborhood. I do the big flags, not the small ones. And the flag company always tries to sell me, the little thing to attach to the base to advertise myself. And I don't need that, because people are going to say, who put these flags out? And they're going to figure out it's me. It just happens.
What's the balance look like between a successful business and being a mom to kids and being present for activities?
Yeah. So 4th of July, for instance, we make it a family event. My husband helps with the flags. My kids push the cart that has the flags in it. And we go out and do it as, a family walk. And so, I involve them, which is fun. But work-life balance has been a huge struggle of mine. And it's taken me a very long time to get myself to a place where I feel like I have things in order and I am able to kind of separate and detach and know when it's time to focus on family and when it's time to focus on business. I actually love something that Gary said at the I think it was at Family Reunion. He said, when you're focusing on business, be solely about business, but when you're focusing on family, also be solely about family, have the phone off. And it took me a long time because I was able to get the leverage, so that I was physically home, but I was home and then I was on my phone, or I have to quick do this email, or I'm not paying attention. I'm saying, hold on. And so I kind of developed what we jokingly call my mom realtor life hacks. And I'll give my MAPS coach credit for that, because she came up with that term. And so it's kind of like 4 key things that I started teaching other agents. Like, these are the 4 things you need to do to get your life back. And so the very first one is get a second phone.
Okay.
And it took
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, right. It took me being in line for the It's a Small World ride at Disney World. And I went to take out my phone to take a picture of my daughter. And I saw a text pop up that a buyer was backing out of a house. And I was like, I have to go deal with this. And then my husband took my children through Disney World while, I spent an hour on the phone. And I was like, that can never happen again. Like, literally, that will never happen to me ever again. And so the second phone became huge, because I realized I can't just be like, I'm going to leave my phone in the hotel room, because not just business, but like my parents, if there's a medical emergency, if our house catches on fire, I need to have a phone.
Oh, good.
And
worst case scenario, not anything good like you've won the lottery or there's free ice cream. We're going to go to the dark side of things.
But I was like, and I want to take pictures, right? Because we take pictures. We don't have cameras anymore. You use your phone to take pictures. So I got the second phone so that I could leave the real estate phone in the hotel room, and I could, bring the phone to have for family and taking pictures. But that led me to like my second cause of panic, which was a lot of clients text, and you can set like a voicemail saying, I'm not answering calls between whatever and whatever. And you can even, forward your calls, but your texts go unanswered if your, phone's in your hotel room. So I realized that there's such thing as auto text responders. And so now it's like, okay, the phone's going to be in the hotel room, And everyone who texts me gets an auto response saying, I'm going to be unavailable between, 10 and 4. I'll return all calls, between 4 and 5. Or I'm going to be unavailable, but my admin is available. Here's her phone number. Please text her. And that helped me to not panic that I was missing out on things. Because I would worry, well, the phone's in the hotel. If there's a text, the client's not getting a response and they don't know I'm not available. So my second biggest thing became the autoresponders, which has been huge for me. And then my third and fourth thing are similar, which is scheduled emails and scheduled texts. And that's been great because I'm the type of person that can't go to sleep if I have unread emails. Like, I feel like I have to read those emails and I have to respond in that moment. But I didn't want clients knowing I was responding at 9, 10 o'clock at night because it just creates bad habits.
Yep.
So I can now respond at 9, 10 o'clock at night, but set it to go out the next morning at 8 a.m. And I've still gotten it off my plate, but the client thinks that I responded the next morning.
I heard a saying, and it's be where your feet are. And there's like the mom guilt of, if I'm at work, I feel guilty that I'm not at home. If I'm at home, I feel guilty that I'm not at work. And it's finally getting to the point of saying, I'm not going to feel like that anymore. Yeah. I'm going to be 100% in regardless of where I'm at. And when I walk into one place or the other one has to kind of go for a little bit. I think that I love those hacks. I love the idea of a second phone. I think the thing that I have learned is I cannot walk in the house on my phone. As a mom, it is better for me to take another lap around the neighborhood and finish a conversation, and then leaving my phone in my car for the first 15 minutes that I'm in the house. Is there a little bit of separation of, I may have to go get it and respond to a few things, but I get to set the tone for whatever our evening is.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
I appreciate you. This was wonderful. I am so impressed with the business that you're running, the relationships that you're building, the impact that you're making on your community. So very grateful for your time today, and very grateful for your MAPS coach that was helping you out on some of these.
Yeah. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking the time, and you've been a role model for many years. So
thank you.